Just on our walk back to the boat, we have a friend.
He's going to register.
He's going to register.
He's going to sit behind the desk.
Oh no.
That's bad.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's got, what's that coming out? Sugar? Rinso, detergent. That's bad.
Oh, don't eat that. He's not going to eat that. Oh no. He's putting his hands. Wow. Oh god, oh god. He grabbed me.
Just saying hi.
Sorry, Loz. Keep GoProing. Did I drag you away? I'm sorry.
You dragged everyone. We just, not even that. You just dragged me in front of you. You just grabbed me. And we were like, "Ooh, save yourselves." Good morning. Welcome to day 2 of our trip into Tanjung Puting National Park. Last night we did a little night trek, and then this morning we were up at like 6 a.m. And we had breakfast and went and visited the little village along the way, and now we're at the second feeding station. We've got Mum and Dad up ahead and our guide Eddie, who's awesome. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Like yesterday afternoon we saw heaps of monkeys just off the boat, and woke up to like beautiful sounds of the jungle, all the birds. Welcome to day 2. After spending a comfortable night sleeping aboard our klotok to the sounds of the jungle, we made a brief stop to stroll a local village. The locals were just waking up and starting their day. There are several villages located within the park boundaries that are only accessible via klotok or canoe from Kumai town. It wasn't uncommon for us to spot an overloaded canoe putting by, filled with cheerful locals and all their belongings, including motorbikes, animals and furniture. Before too long, we had made our way further into the park and had arrived at the first of 2 feeding stations for the day, Pondok Tanggai. We spent a few hours quietly watching these great apes come and go of their own free will. We were treated to another adorable baby, as well as some teenage orangutans whipping playfully through the treetops, sneaking a banana when the moment was right. We couldn't help but believe that they were just as interested in watching us as we them. Although we had done our research prior to this trip, we were still anxious and nervous about how wild these orangutans really were. We have been fooled many times before, and it's left us feeling cheated and stupid for supporting companies and organisations exploiting animals for financial gain. From all information we learnt online, read at information centres and heard from Eddie, Tanjung Puting is home to a mix of entirely wild orangutans as well as rehabilitated and reintroduced ones, many of them being the latter's offspring. Rangers ceased releasing into the park in '95 as a measure of population control and instead reintroduced in many other areas of Borneo and Malaysia. It is now common practice to release into areas devoid of wild orangutans or without a viable wild population, and in areas closed to tourists. Orangutan conservation and rehabilitation is actually a pretty controversial topic. Although well intended, direct human interaction by handlers means that they are susceptible to many diseases unique to humans. While these orangutans were free in a sense, the idea of feeding stations did have us questioning the ethics. Most release projects are labelled soft releases, whereby food and support is offered for some time after. In some cases, as with Tanjung Puting, indefinite supplementary feeding. I suppose you could say it's a compromise for their welfare, living kind of in between. We've just arrived at Camp Leakey. It's about 1 o'clock, and there is our very own personal orangutan tree with baby.
The orangutan right in the trees. Right next to the boat. After another close encounter just off the boat, we made our way down the jungle path towards the famous Camp Leakey. Just moments into our walk, we found ourselves face to face and up close to a mother and a baby. They had made their way down from the trees and were walking along the side of the trail. We were late off the boat and were lucky to witness this with a handful of fellow admirers. We were told to give way and keep a distance behind them. After it was established the mother was not going to keep moving forward, we made our best efforts to move around her without threat. At the feeding station, it was business as usual. An orangutan here and there coming and going depending on dominance. It was here we saw our only gibbon of the trip, looking comical, lurching forward and with precision plucking a handful of bananas straight from the unsuspecting dominant male and swinging enthusiastically and triumphantly back up to a branch. The swift and elusive burglar. Us onlookers found it pretty amusing. After some time there was an incident between the mother shown walking the trail earlier and the dominant male. He pulled her with full force off the platform and sat on top of her. She was silent while he grunted above her. The baby sat helplessly crying and pushing the male off its mother. The crowd gasped and I must admit it was a tense few moments. Mum is all good.
Oh, no.
What's she doing? There's Camp Leakey done. It was time to head back to our clotok and relax. Eddie fashioned Colleen a ring and bracelet using twine made from a native fern stem. We watched the world pass by from the bow and shared our favourite moments from the day.
Bags of granola memories, all the best things you ever had. The summer show.
It really was so humbling and heartwarming to quietly observe these beautiful, gentle and intelligent creatures in their natural habitat. However, it was so difficult not to feel a deep sadness and guilt for the uncertainty of their future in the wild. Continued deforestation and the illegal wildlife trade are real threats they face every day. The world can be so ironic. Whilst I edit this episode, the forests of Borneo are burning, like they do every year. And you guessed it, mostly for the benefit of oil palm plantations. Oil palms grow in humid tropical conditions and produce up to 8 times more oil per hectare than competitor crops and are relatively low maintenance. The result? The cheapest oil to produce. There's always another perspective. Indonesia and Malaysia produce more than 80% of the world's palm oil. It's a profitable crop for farmers and helps developing countries fight poverty. And don't forget, most of the purchasing companies are headquartered in developed countries, so we are a big part of the problem. It's the most widely consumed vegetable oil on the planet and in almost all packaged foods we eat. Rarely listed as simply palm oil on the ingredient label. It's most commonly listed as vegetable oil in food products, but here's a list of all the other names. It's in your chocolate, cookies, soap, makeup, ice cream, detergent, biofuel, bread, etc. So the demand to supply the global market is huge. We in the developed world are so quick to point the finger in judgment when we learn countries destroy their own forests to clear land to plant palm oil. Yet we are the ones consuming the most. It's a very complex issue and we don't have the answers. Nonetheless, it's a discussion worth having and it's something to think about. It pays to read the labels of your food and cosmetics. You can even download apps to your smartphone that scan the barcode and flag if palm oil is present. Anyway, we are very cautious when it comes to animal tourism. Other than the unease of the feeding stations, we do feel that this was as close as we could get to these animals without watching them from the other side of a cage or a zoo enclosure or trapped in a fake wildlife sanctuary. We are really interested to hear what you think. Are the feeding stations ethical? What's your impression of the national park? What's your opinion on orangutan conservation? And what are your opinions of palm oil? Please, let's have a conversation that matters. Leave us a comment below. Good morning. It's our third day, so last final day on the tour. And we just pulled up and anchored in, I don't know, the palm trees last night.
In the palm trees.
As you do. We've got some, what monkeys are these ones called?
Macaque.
Macaque monkeys. They're just the ones you see in Bali and everywhere else. Here's Dylan. Yeah, so our anchoring system is one palm frond there and a small broken bunch of palm tree trunks there. We've got a Winnie the Pooh rug. I didn't realise. Anyway, last night this tree here above me was full of fireflies, but we couldn't get it on film because GoPros aren't good in low light, and most of our camera batteries are dead. So yeah, and just full of fireflies. So that we kind of maybe motored along for about an hour in the dark, and eventually we figured out we were meant to turn our cabin lights off so we could actually see out and see all the fireflies. And just all these trees lit up like literally like Christmas trees, super beautiful. And then we ended up, anchoring underneath this tree, and then the little fireflies were coming into the cabin, and staff were catching them in their hand. It was really cool. I've seen fireflies, but I've never seen that many.
Morning, good morning, selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi,
Boss. Okay.
boss.
The couple years.
You be boss.
The next couple years.
Bawang putih,
Putih,
bawang merah,
bawang merah, nama
kentang.
kentang.
Ikan nila.
Different. Tidak sama.
Tidak.
Tidak. Added in the garlic. Added in the chili. Giving that a stir. Ooh, smells so good. Alright, so we fry those up. Meanwhile, the cook was preparing our take-home lunch. Turn the heat down. We go ketchup manis. And put, what's this? Flavoring. Ayam rasa. Oh yeah. Like chicken stock powder. Gula. Sugar. Air. Still don't know what this is. What's nama? Rutang. Is that potatoes? Tidak nama. What's this one? Is this sal? Garam? Kitchen.
Penyedap rasa.
Don't know what that one is.
I was curious to see what was under the hood. Oh boy.
Look, ooh, it's so clean. Do you think this is a clean engine?
Yeah, this is clean.
Your machine is clean or not?
No, not like this.
not this.
This is clean.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
Throw, change this.
Yeah, right. What's going on there? Like a flex drive or something. So, I'm driving the boat with the captain. Hello. Oh, it's pretty smooth. And what trip aboard a Clotok would be complete without playing captain yourself? You want to have a steer, Cole?
Yep.
Alright.
Yeah, mommy, captain.
Captain.
I got a boat license. Can we go faster?
Fast. I think that's the end of the river. Back out into the Kumai River. Thanks again for watching. Your support means a lot to us. Catch us in the next episode as we leave Kumai behind for a 2-night passage to Palau Nangka, a tiny little deserted island in the South China Sea. You meet a whole tribe of fishermen who make our time anchored here pretty unique. These videos are funded by our beloved patrons.
With both one-time or ongoing pledge tier options, Patreon provides us with a unique platform to share additional content, benefits, gifts, giveaways, recipes, and early release episodes with our Patreon community. A great deal of care, love, time, dedication, consistency, discipline, and passion goes into filming and editing these videos. It's extremely rewarding, but not without its challenges.
Patreon means you can directly support creators like us and spread the love. Sailing Blue Moon patrons will get a Seize the Day t-shirt made from recycled plastic bottles collected from our oceans. All shirts are available for purchase. Hit us up on Instagram or Facebook for details.
Every little bit helps to keep us afloat, filming and creating. Perhaps a Patreon pledge isn't your jam, but you'd still like to show your support. Buy us a beer, shout us a shandy, or even a round of rum nuts. You can do so via our Sailing Blue Moon PayPal account with a shout out in the credits.
If you enjoy our content, you can help us out by liking this video and subscribing if you haven't already. Don't forget to click the bell to the right to be notified of new episodes. We'd also love to hear from you, the viewer, so hit us up in the comments below.
And lastly, you can follow us in real time on Instagram and Facebook. As always, thanks for watching Blue Moonies.
So happy-hearted in the warmth, run true inside these bones. As the old pine fell, we sang.